in the prison. Deputy Laura, could you do me a favor? Could you place the handcuffs on him, please? Each time you come before me, I know I've told you, you're looking at I'm being told that they're letting somebody with an 8th grade education who has meth issues, who has 3 children that she doesn't even have custody for them, work. You cannot have children and then tell them to go to Travis Park and say, you're on your own. And there is no reason a child should be able to get out of your house. And
a 20-year-old drug user, a fed-up judge, 3 children abandoned by their mother for meth. What you just witnessed represents everything broken about our system. Probation violations, child endangerment, and a mother who chose drugs over her baby's safety. But this story goes deeper than typical courtroom drama. This is about judges who've seen it all and parents who've learned nothing. The defendant already failed probation 3 times, while his mother makes excuses. The second case, a pregnant woman who lost custody of 3 kids because meth was more important than their lives. And those handcuffs you glimpsed, they're just the beginning of reality checks that will leave you questioning everything about addiction, accountability, and second chances. 99% of parents would do anything to keep their children safe. These defendants chose the opposite. The judge's reactions you're about to see aren't just legal decisions, they're moral reckonings. Prepare yourself for a system pushed to its breaking point.
that's the report that I have on you. The report tells me you are doing nothing. Zero, nada. Why are you doing nothing on this probation in this court other than using drugs?
I have attended 2 of the 4 classes, and we have had.
No, they say you don't even call in.
Call in when they come for a field visit?
Yeah, they say you're not doing the simplest of things. And what I can tell you is you've had 3 motions to revoke in this court. So, and I know that each time you came before me, I've told you that you're looking at up to 10 years in the prison. Deputy Laura, could you do me a favor? Could you place the handcuffs on him, please? Each time you come before me, I know I've told you you're looking at doing 10 years in prison. Obviously, your mother is not laying down the law with you at home. They say that you keep saying that you work with your mom, but you don't provide any proof. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to allow you to work with your mom because I don't know if your mom is actually having you work with her. So you are going to ISF. And the reason why I'm sending you to ISF is because you need an attitude adjustment. You understand? Now, if you don't want to sign to go to ISF, you don't have to sign for it. What will end up happening is
zero, nada, nothing. Those aren't just words. They're a judge's complete condemnation of a probation violator who thinks excuses are enough. But watch what happens next, because this is where judges stop playing games. Notice how the defendant tries to claim he attended classes? The judge immediately shuts that down. This isn't a debate, it's accountability time. And here's what most people don't understand about probation violations. Judges have heard every excuse imaginable. I work with my mom. I attended some classes. I'm trying. But here's the contradiction that destroys his case. If he's really trying, why is he testing positive for cocaine and meth? You can't claim effort while poisoning yourself with multiple drugs. This judge has seen this exact pattern before, and she's done with the lies. That's why she orders handcuffs without hesitation. But here's the psychological reality. Some people don't learn until consequences become physical. Words failed. Warnings failed. Now it's handcuffs and ultimatums. This is what happens when the system stops enabling and starts enforcing. The defendant's about to learn that I'm trying doesn't erase cocaine-positive drug tests. And that casual response to being handcuffed, that tells you everything about how seriously he takes this court. The judge sees it too. That's why what comes next will shock you.
a motion to revoke will be filed. So which would you prefer?
ISF, Your Honor.
All right. So he wants to go to ISF, and if you could put him in ISF cognitive.
Your Honor, so we, the recommendation was for local ISF.
Okay.
He did complete the state ISF.
Okay.
Are you
Well,
wanted to
if
go
the
ahead and go with
recommendation
the
is
local.
local, we can go with the local.
Okay,
Has he been drug tested?
he's on a drug patch, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so you're gonna go to local ISF. This is the last time we're gonna have this conversation with you following rules. Obviously, your mom is not laying down the law with you. So you're not going to be allowed to work with your mom. You're gonna have to get a job with a different employer, because if you get a job with a different employer, that employer, if you don't report, they're not gonna pay you. They're not gonna call the court and say, oh yeah, he reported for work if you did not. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you want to go to prison?
No, Your Honor.
All right, if you want to go to prison, I will get an attorney.
Wait, stop and think about what just happened. The judge just gave this 20-year-old a choice, treatment facility or prison, but notice his response, casual acceptance. No panic, no pleading, no recognition of what ISF actually means. That reaction tells you everything about why he's failed probation 3 times. Here's what the transcript reveals about this defendant's mindset. He doesn't grasp consequences. ISF isn't summer camp. It's intensive supervised failure, a last stop before prison. But his calm, all-right response shows he's still not taking this seriously. Now watch the judge's strategy. She's not just sending him to treatment, she's systematically removing every excuse he's used. You can't work with your mom anymore. Why? Because enablers aren't employers. His mother's been covering for him, lying about his work, making excuses for his failures. The judge sees through it. But here's the pattern most people miss: generational enabling. Mom protects son from consequences. Son never learns responsibility. Cycle continues until a judge finally says enough. This isn't just about probation violations. It's about family systems that create adult children who can't function. And that threat about not coming back here again, that's not a suggestion, that's a promise. Because the next conversation won't be about treatment options. It'll be about prison sentences. The judge is giving him one final reality check.
All right, do not come back here again where you are not doing anything. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I keep an open mind on everything, but we are not going to have any more compliance hearings with you. If I get a report and it appears that everything is in order, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. When a motion to revoke is filed, what ends up happening is a warrant is issued for your arrest, and you will be picked up wherever you may be. You could be at the grocery store in the middle of checking out or have already checked out. You know what's going to happen? Those groceries are going to be put to the side and they're going to take you to jail. If you are at home, they're going to pick you up and take you to jail. If you're in the middle of watching a movie and you're at the part where they're about to solve everything, guess what? If they pick you up during that time, you're going to miss what happens. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
In this court, probation is serious. In this court, communication is key. And probation officers know that I like for them to communicate with people. And that's why they put in here that they've had several discussions with you regarding your actions. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. 3 CR 1042, State of Texas versus Celine Renee Briard. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
What's the state, Your Honor?
Defense?
Robert Gale on a court of defense.
Here's where this judge does something brilliant. She makes consequences real and personal. Listen to how she describes arrest scenarios, grocery stores, movie theaters, specific moments when police will disrupt his life. This isn't legal intimidation, it's psychological education. Most defendants think warrants are abstract concepts until they're face down on concrete. But notice the deeper psychology here. She's forcing him to visualize his choices. You could be watching a movie at the part where they're about to solve everything. That's not random, that's deliberate. She's saying your life story doesn't get a resolution if you choose drugs over compliance. Here's what 99% of people don't realize about probation. It's not punishment, it's opportunity. The system is literally giving you a chance to avoid prison while getting help. But some people are so addicted to chaos, they can't recognize help when it's offered. This defendant falls into that category. His casual responses, his lack of urgency, his reliance on mommy, all signs of someone who's never faced real consequences. The judge recognizes this pattern. That's why she's being so specific about arrest procedures. She's trying to break through his delusion that rules don't apply to him. But here's the moral question that should haunt you. At what point does helping become enabling? When does mercy become injustice to future victims? This case is about to test those boundaries.
So you have a CPS case.
Yes, ma'am. It's currently about to be closed.
Oh, it's about to be closed?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means if it's about to be closed, that means, and your attorney does CPS work, right? So tell her what that means, counselor.
Judge, what happened was it turned out to be a safety plan, an investigation in which I met the safety placement and she verified everything.
So,
If everything pans out, she knows it will be closed. If not, it could go legal. But
and the reason why they do the safety plans means exactly what it says, safety plan.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's your drug of choice?
I mean, I don't do any drugs right now, but I was using methamphetamine, but I've been sober for quite a while now.
All right, how often were you using meth?
Like maybe every week. It just depends.
When's the last time you used meth?
Like 4 months.
All right, so that's probably why CPS was involved. When's the last time you had employment?
I was right before I was arrested.
Doing what?
I was doing home health care and working for a hotel at the front desk.
All right, I can tell you right now, I don't allow people on probation here to be home health care.
Now we transition to a completely different type of case, but the themes remain the same. Parents choosing drugs over children's safety. Meet Celine Briard, pregnant, 8th grade education, meth user who lost custody of 3 kids. But here's where this case gets heartbreaking. Those children didn't choose this life. A 3-year-old escaped from her apartment while everyone was sleeping because mommy was too high to notice. Think about that terror. A toddler wandering streets alone because his mother prioritized drugs over basic safety. CPS didn't steal these children. This mother abandoned them for meth. And now she's pregnant again, potentially creating a 4th victim of her addiction. Here's what's coming that will devastate you. The judge's reaction to home healthcare providers hiring addicted mothers with 8th grade educations to care for vulnerable patients. This isn't just about individual failures. It's about systemic breakdowns that endanger everyone. The preview moment you saw about education and meth issues, that's building to a judge's explosive breakdown of how our healthcare system fails patients by hiring unqualified, unstable caregivers. But here's the deeper question. Should addiction excuse child endangerment? Should pregnancy protect you from accountability? This judge is about to deliver some harsh truths about parental responsibility that will divide viewers into teams. Prepare yourself for a reality check that spares no one's feelings.
I'm being told that they're letting somebody with an 8th grade education who has meth issues, who has 3 children that she doesn't even have custody for them, work as a home health care provider. Thank you, home health care provider people. So that is why I don't let people work as home health care provider. Now, maybe once you get your life together, maybe that will be a good fit for you, but I'm not going to allow that.
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So why do you only have your 8th grade education?
I just never furthered my education, but I am in, actually, just before I got arrested, got some GD books from the library, so I am trying to pursue my GD.
Okay. So what are you planning on doing with your rest of your life? What are your hopes, your dreams?
Well, after I get my GD, I want to be a cosmetologist.
Okay. Hey, that's doable. But I will tell you this, anything that requires a license, when you have convictions, before you start spending all that money to do it, you need to find out from the state, wherever you're going to be licensed, if that's going to be a hindrance to you. Not saying that it will stop you, but it may cause complications. All right, counsel, is there anything else?
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated.
They're letting somebody with an 8th grade education who has meth issues work as a home health care provider. This isn't just a judge being harsh. This is a system failure exposed in real time. But here's where you need to pick a side. Is this judge being unfairly judgmental or brutally honest about protecting vulnerable patients? Consider the facts. Celine has an 8th grade education, multiple children in state custody, active meth addiction, and was trusted to care for helpless patients. That's not employment discrimination, that's patient endangerment. The judge's anger isn't about Celine personally. It's about an industry that prioritizes profit over safety. Home healthcare companies are hiring anyone with a pulse because they need bodies, not because they've vetted caregivers. And Celine isn't the villain here. She's a symptom of bigger problems. But here's the moral divide that will split your comment section. Should recovering addicts get second chances in healthcare, or should patient safety always come first? Team everyone deserves opportunity versus team protect vulnerable patients. The judge clearly falls into the protection camp. She's seen what happens when unqualified caregivers get access to vulnerable people. But critics will say she's destroying rehabilitation opportunities. What's your take? Because this debate about second chances versus public safety isn't going away. And what's coming next will test your compassion against your sense of responsibility.
Did for 4 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to ask for parenting classes, probation, whatever parenting classes you deem would be appropriate for her. Obviously, it needs to be intensive, because for them to say that the children are to remain where they remain, that means that she didn't do any. So I'm going to want intensive. There's to be restitution and no contact with Juan Palomino. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting.
2 years suspended, 4 years probation, no unsupervised contact with minors. But listen to what the judge isn't saying directly. Celine may never get her children back. Intensive parenting classes don't guarantee custody return. They're just requirements for the possibility. Here's the devastating reality. While Celine serves probation, her children are growing up calling someone else mommy. Her 5-month-old won't remember her. Her 3-year-old is learning to trust grandparents instead of the parent who failed to protect him. And that baby she's carrying, born into a system where mommy already proved children aren't her priority. But here's what's about to break your heart. The judge's final lecture about parental responsibility. This isn't legal advice. This is moral education about choices and consequences. You cannot have children and then tell them to go to Travis Park and say you're on your own. That's not just about this case. That's about a generation of parents who created children but refused to parent them. The preview moment you saw about children not being grandparents' responsibility, that's building to a speech that will either inspire you or infuriate you, depending on your own family situation. Because this judge is about to explain exactly why addiction doesn't excuse child endangerment. And her words about what could have happened to that escaped 3-year-old will haunt every parent watching. Get ready for brutal honesty about the real cost of choosing drugs over kids.
Those 3 children, those are your children. It's not the grandparents' child. The grandparents are just supposed to be grandparents to children. They're not supposed to be raising more children, which is raising your children. You cannot have children and then tell them to go to Travis Park and say, you're on your own. And there is no reason a child should be able to get out of your house and you not know about it, and they're that age. So many things could have happened to your child when they got out of the house. Could have been hit by a car. And guess what? People can't see children that age because they're tiny and they're small. Somebody could have picked them up. And guess what? There's a reason we have indecency with a child cases in this court. Anything could have happened to your child. And when you're using drugs and you're pregnant, whatever you're using, your child is using too. So if you don't think a baby should be smoking a cigarette, you shouldn't be smoking a cigarette, because guess what? When you're carrying a child and you're smoking a cigarette, your babies are smoking a cigarette. If you don't think a child should be doing alcohol, when you're drinking alcohol, your baby's drinking alcohol. You're gonna have to start making better choices. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
2 defendants, 2 different ages, same pattern, choosing drugs over responsibility. The 20-year-old gets handcuffs and a final warning. The mother gets probation, but loses her children indefinitely. Both face consequences they created through their choices. But here's what will divide your comments. Was the judge too harsh or not harsh enough? Team addiction is a disease versus team children come first. Where do you stand? Because tomorrow's case makes these look simple. A mother accused of selling her own children's medication to buy drugs. The evidence? Text messages that will make your blood boil. The family impact? Siblings turned against each other in ways you can't imagine. The judge's reaction? Let's just say handcuffs will be the least of anyone's worries. Subscribe, because these family destruction cases happen daily, and each one reveals something darker about how addiction destroys more than just the user. Hit that notification bell. These stories break hearts, but open eyes to realities most people never see.